It's 11, right?
Listo? All right. Well, everyone, welcome back. It's July 31st. We're 7:52. Nobody's are back.
It's the last day of the month. That's crazy.
Casually late as usual, but working. Last time we left off, we were getting ready for the Sports Evo, and Taylor Maquinita Becerra was going to give Lisette Ekpa a rematch of a full contact Muay Thai fight, and Johnny was going to try his hand at point boxing, just using his feet and his hands. So we recap, and like everybody recaps, when after stuff, and I kind of laugh at everybody, our opponents, points of view. We have ours, but ours is going to be more closer to like what really happened, without kind of embellishing anything that we do. So
I think we're pretty transparent when we talk about things.
Oh, big time. And when we lose, I go out and I straight up say, we didn't get the job done. It's it, and I think it's funny how dudes in the fight game or guys that come out and they compete, that how they use social media to kind of like, lick their wounds a little bit of the reality of what really happened. But Johnny, we can start with you. But you went out there. How'd you feel strictly just boxing?
I felt comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty. It was easier focusing on the two hands instead of the legs and the knees and stuff.
Look like you enjoyed it.
It was pretty fun. I like
Yeah.
the
You look
the
you were having
shuffling around.
fun.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah. The first kiddo, he was, I believe he was your age, right?
What weight class
He
was
was
this, Johnny?
17, 170.
He was 17?
Yeah.
Damn,
He's a
dude,
little
he looks
pudgy,
small.
though, yeah.
Yeah. So, when I saw his size and then I saw the look in his eye, because I always look into folks' eyes, especially in the fight game, and not in an intimidating manner. It just, tells you a little bit something about people, and you could tell he wasn't confident. So so anybody out there that watched that first point boxing match from Johnny, I told him to kind of don't put his foot on the gas, kind of just touch and tech. And the reason that I did that was because I knew that if he went out there and demolished this kid, he wouldn't get another match. And again, we're here to develop what we do, and what we do is a little different than what we'll talk about later in this business as youth combat sports. We do it is if I'm going to prepare a fighter for combat, I'm going to prepare the complete human being. Doesn't matter what age they are. You're getting them ready to go in there and do something that most people aren't willing to do. And to do it in a controlled manner and a responsible manner, to me, I take that shit very seriously. So the first match, I told him to kind of take it easy on the kid. And even there was a couple of times I think you'd hit him with an uppercut or something, and the kid would he'd shake it off. And for as combat purists, I know that not everybody thinks about combat the way I do. I read body language. That's what I do. That's what I teach my fighters to do. And in my mind, if you're watching kids fight and a kid gets punched in the face and his first reaction is to shake his head, that tells you a lot that there's a lot of inexperience there. They are not even used to getting hit. And thank you. I want to commend you for your coolness because you saw that. And what were your thoughts when you saw that?
I mean, I just wanted to stick to what you said. Don't hit him too hard. Because when he stood up and we shook, that was an interesting thing. They made us stand up before the matches when they were giving us the name of our opponent and shake their hand. We've never done that before. When I saw him, I knew it was probably one of his first fights. So
even though like doing it, going with that tempo, that was a pretty freaking awesome experience for both of them.
Yes,
because you got live experience and to make decisions with somebody who you've never gone against before. So everything was just kind of on the fly.
Yeah.
And he got the experience his first fight with someone who is experienced and who wasn't trying to kill him. Yeah. So that was an awesome outcome.
Yeah, no, and it's again, we don't, when we go to as I develop youth combat athletes, is we go for just the experience, and it's more of an internal thing that I want them to experience the event, the people, the pressures of performing in front of folks, but practice on the things that we kind of point out. And we're very specific with our approach or our game plans, and even down to the strikes that I wanted you to throw, huh? Yeah. So now your first match, I mean, there was definitely levels there you could see. In your second match, again, we didn't know who you were going to get. I just went right up to the table and asked him to give you somebody. And it was I don't remember the name of the place. Misa, you remember the name of the place that cat was from?
Legacy Muay Thai.
Legacy Muay Thai, yeah. So we didn't know who we were going to go up against. And I guess this dude was a little bit older. And I told you before the fight, I wanted you to work your jab and body. I even said that he looked a little soft in the middle. So, why don't you get that body? And how did you see it when he came out? Because I know that you went in there to execute, and then obviously the dude kind of changed the game a little bit.
Yeah, he came out. I mean, he came out hot, but he didn't really.
Hot. And then, in your opinion, like, did you feel his tension? Did you feel his power?
Yeah,
even before the match started, he was pacing back and forth in his corner, breathing very heavily.
Yeah, well, I heard him hitting mitts. I didn't know it was him at the time, but I heard somebody behind me hitting mitts and putting a lot of aggression and pop into it, But we're there to get some work in. So you felt it immediately, and then I called for, that's how we do it around here. Is you're gonna hit us like that. We don't care how old you are. We don't care where you're from. We don't care what you know. If you crack us, then we will go ahead and I didn't, honestly, bro, you didn't really unleash on him. I just started asking for the uppercuts because I knew they were there. And I think, I don't know how many uppercuts you could hit this cat with.
Probably like a handful.
A handful? Probably like 2 handfuls or 1 handful? 5?
Like 5's a handful, right?
5?
Fingers.
5?
I'd say 5.
We have video on that shit?
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little more than 5, I believe, because after that, I was just calling it. Just, hey, remember, 236, 236, and 2. And it's funny because how we're coming out, and yeah, we're fucking around a little bit, and we're joking, because that's really what happened. We have the video on it, and I believe the dude, he was 25, 26 years old, and I hear secondhand information, but for him to go out there and not give you your props, I think was chicken shit. And for him to go out there and say that he lasted 2 rounds with you, there were 1.5 rounds, and I believe they stopped in the second round about maybe a minute into the second round because his face mask was facing a different direction. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
he wobbled a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, he was wobbling. He was chicken-legged. Yeah. So for him, I believe, what was the comments? I think he said he lasted two rounds.
Coach did.
Huh?
The coach.
Oh, the coach did? Oh, the fucking coach did. All right. Well, this is from one coach to another. What was it?
Lasted 2 rounds with a highly experienced Muay Thai, multiple Muay Thai world champion.
Okay, so no,
I'm
he
not a
lasted
boxing
2.5 minutes with a 16-year-old amateur champion. That's so, like, look, man, we are not going to talk shit about nobody, but don't go out there and fucking downplay what we do. This is the fucking brand. If you don't like getting your fucking ass kicked, that's probably why you don't take fights. And that's probably why we're sitting here looking for fights for this kid all the time. right? But we go over there to get some work. We don't go over there to disrespect nobody. So when you get your ass kicked, homie, keep it real. You got your fucking ass kicked. And coach, keep it fucking real. He got worked. Watch the video. So I want to address that shit because we're not coming out here and we're not intentionally talking shit to nobody. We're just going to give it back. Same thing with that Miller situation with that Esteban didn't give a shit about. But me, because we're a brand, I do. This is my brand. What, you don't like that my brand stomps your ass out? Well, then don't show up to the fucking fight, bro, because the way I look at it is we're fighters. We're built to fight. I build you guys to fight. I don't build you guys to point. And if we're point boxing and shit, and we're doing it out of respect. So you come out hot, and
we train for that intensity.
Yeah, so it's like
when it comes to us. I even asked. Do you remember when I asked you after? I'm like, were you happy when you realized that he was coming out hot because you could retaliate?
Yeah.
He's all like, yeah.
And I remember asking you, did he hit you with anything?
I mean, no,
like
really,
you felt like compared to like sparring, but
Yeah,
compared to our tempo of sparring and the way we prepare you for stuff, with the power that he came with, because he came with intensity, but I don't know what kind of power he came with because
honestly, I don't even remember. Realistically, I remember thinking like in the match when I was blocking, I was like, okay, he's just gonna throw all these punches, he's gonna get tired, and then I'm gonna walk him down, and that's exactly what happened. So I just sat there and I blocked for I don't know how many times I did that, but I knew he was gonna get tired because I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
It was just point boxing. I didn't really care if he did that for 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I was just gonna come after him again right after he got tired after throwing the 2, 3, 4, 5 punches he was throwing that I was blocking. He was trying to level change, which was pretty good, but I was blocking all of them.
Yeah. So the reality was, you're the prodigy. I gave you that nickname. You didn't give it to yourself. You earned it. The way I look at it. So that's the reality. That's what happened.
Sweetie.
Huh?
Beto call him Sweetie.
Yeah. Well, the prodigy. You don't get to be a prodigy unless you beat up adults. So, that's what we're ready to do. Again, we get into this to compete at a high level. That's what we ultimately want to get to. Why? Because we're the nobodies that prepare for anybody. That's why, that's why it's the brand, and we're not individual like that. We don't even approach it like that. We approach it as we understand, we appreciate how much each other's blood, sweat, and tears go into this thing. So it's not it's a lifestyle for us. You went out there and you did. Are you looking forward to any more boxing?
Yeah, I'd love to do it again.
Yeah,
I'd love to do everything right now. Everything and anything.
So anybody out there, we love to do everything. Promoters out there, we'll talk about the business aspect a little bit after we talk to the kiddos here. But it's that's what we're here for. So thank you for representing the way you represented, and as always. So much respect. Which brings us to Maquinita. You're very quiet over there. You ain't got nothing to say. How'd you see the boxing match?
I just thought it was funny. I was laughing the
What
whole
was
time.
funny? What was funny?
They were like, the first kid, I thought he was like 14. I thought he was my age. He didn't look.
He was how old?
17.
Yeah.
He didn't look 17 at all.
No.
And then I saw the difference between him and Johnny. I was like, nah. And then the second dude, when he was hitting mitts, I had a feeling he was going to fight Johnny.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't look back. And I was like, he's just going to get tired hitting mitts. There was no point.
Do you enjoy watching the guys fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. Most of the time it's funny because their opponents aren't that good.
Or it could be frustrating too when execution isn't there. How's it feel compared to when you're in there?
I don't know.
So let's get to your fight with your rematch with Lisette Ekpa from Omni Movement with her coach Tim Cow. Thank you guys again. What a wonderful little girl, I think. She's a cool kid.
She's a very nice, genuine person.
Yeah, no, and I even talking to Steven before the fight, I said, I wish more kids were like you guys, just kind of okay with, what you guys are doing. It's pretty commendable. So how did you feel going into this fight? Because again, in the first match, you know, by your own words, you definitely didn't execute. You didn't, you know.
It was a very embarrassing fight for me.
It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, but you know, again, that's compared to like we do have standards here.
Yeah.
So we do have, you know, we do put the bar a little up there, and then you know, you being the only girl, so I take that in consideration. You should too. You know, but were you looking forward to it?
Yeah. I just knew that I was gonna be better in this fight. The way that just leading up to the fight, I knew I was gonna execute at least a little bit of what I did in the shop.
She came out really prepared too. She was patient. She
Yeah.
didn't run at
They
you.
both looked much better this one than they did the last one.
Yeah. No, it was. So she took it serious, and you know, that was one of the things. This fight, though, you can tell there was a separation in physicality and striking technique. She was aware of your power. Did you feel that in the fight, that she was maybe a little bit more tentative because she was aware of your power?
Yeah. Like her kicks this time were a bit stronger, and her punches, she didn't throw harder punches.
No.
She didn't. She felt weak in her hands, but her kicks were about the same, maybe a little
What
bit
about
stronger.
the clinch?
The clinch, she only clenched me twice, and I did the fist thing.
You
And
separated.
So
The
do you
method.
think that
method.
it was
method.
more better technique on your end, or was it that just maybe being a little calmer?
I think it was a little bit of both. I was definitely calmer in this fight. I felt it too. I was.
Oh, you were listening. You were
Yeah.
listening. You didn't execute exactly. You know what? That's
What we
why.
had trained.
Yeah, but that's why we go out there. That's why we want opportunities all the time. That's why we look at things the way we do. That's why we're very, you know, critical, and we want to fix because, you know, how else do you become high level elite? You know, unless you're a little obsessive with that stuff. So I believe you Hanley won the fight. We have video on it too. So if anybody, and where do people go for the videos?
On Instagram.
Just Instagram in the stories, or what?
Just on the post.
On the posts?
Yeah.
So they just have to pick the right post. They're not like labeled or anything. All right, because I've had some folks out there ask me about that, and I it's time for me to get, I guess, a little bit more you know, involved in the social media aspect of this stuff, and it's part of something that, you know, isn't natural to me. That's one of the things where that's why I'm bringing you guys on a lot more, because I want you guys to get comfortable with being in front of cameras and microphones, and, you know, because if you guys further eventually, you know, you further your careers and the opportunities arise, and you guys capitalize on those opportunities, you know, the lights are going to get brighter. You know, there's going to be more microphones in your face. There's going to be more public demand for media and stuff like that. So, I think that's cool. We even have a platform to be able to do that with. You know, it's so I want to utilize it. How do you guys feel about that?
I understand. That's how the world works now. There's a lot more.
That's true. Not even just in combat sports, just about anything you do.
Yeah, pretty much
You're doing
everything.
it on camera now.
Yes. Yeah. Well, or you. I guess once people started, you know, it started with selfies back in the day, yeah, and then it just took off from there. But yeah, and for me, just completely not being part of that culture, and it has been a really it's been a struggle. The struggle's been
That's
real.
been weird. Like, you woke
Awkward
up in a
as shit,
weird
dude.
dream.
Awkward as
Yeah.
shit, you know. But I feel like, you know, as a position of an instructor, a teacher, a mentor, a leader, I have to be able to set the tone. You know, I have to be the pace car. What are you fucking playing
touching my
footsies
leg
during a
over there, man.
podcast, dude? See, this is what fucking really happens around here behind closed doors. Fucking bunch of weirdos. And then we got little dogs. Where's the little dog?
He's
Where's he
sleeping
at?
right here.
Oh, cool.
Living his best life.
So yeah, no. Sons of fucking guys, dude. Yeah.
Good times.
So with that said, we'll roll with that, and we will kind of wanted to ask you a little bit about how you see your future after this fight. Obviously, you believed you were going to get the W. You got the W. You know, I actually went up to your opponent, Lisette, and I told her, I said, look, you're a dog, you're a monster. Anybody else you fight after this, you're gonna smash him. You know, and I truly believe that. And I believe she's fighting soon, isn't she? Yeah, when's she fighting?
September. Oh, August 31st.
August 31st.
That's how you get better. You
Yeah,
stay
you're out there, girl.
Keep doing it.
You know, I'd wish you luck, but you just keep preparing the way you're preparing, girl, and you got that fight.
Yeah.
You got that. And but it's cool because now that little girl, and this is you know kind of what we'll get to about the difference between the way we look at combat and the actual business of combat sports, right? Is that little girl now will take those 2 L's that she learned a hell of a lot for, right? And she looked noticeably, she improved noticeably. You did that, and we did that. All the work you put in here, all the attention to detail, all the you know, fucking getting yelled at, you know, and getting focus, and it came out to where it didn't just benefit you, okay? It benefited her too, and I think that's the coolest part of like youth combat sports is that
it's such an opportunity for growth.
It is, and Lisette was more than willing and ready to take that on, and that's what we're trying to spread when it comes to our youth combat stuff. Is that, you know, face your fears, you know, get in there. You're not really losing because you're still living. They're not losing. You're learning. You're living, you're learning, and both of you guys got something good out of it. I totally expect her to get better, you know, tenfold in her next fight. And honestly, I wouldn't doubt that you meet her later on if she stays with it.
Yeah.
You know, which also brings me to the next question I want to ask you is later on for you is how do you see your combat sports, you know, future?
I really see myself going into pro MMA. Like, I just like the cage more. I like the thought of being able to do everything in a fight, even though I don't like wrestling. But I know that as long as I train and I stick with it, I'm sure. Because right now I'm really determined to stay with it. I like it.
And
Yeah.
you like the pancration style right now.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward to doing more of the pancration.
Yeah.
All right. How about boxing? Because I remember at the beginning, you're like boxing because it was, you know, the just 2 hands element where it kind of took a little bit of a little laziness, you know, to where I don't got to worry about anything else except for 2 hands. And, you know, honestly, your hands, your defense is tight. You're when you cut angles, you cut them really well. You know, how do you think about boxing?
I like boxing.
You
Even when I did the point boxing, I liked it.
And again, I just say things like that because as I'm learning more about the business aspect of combat sports, youth combat and professional combat sports, is that it's a little trickier than we believed. We believed that like people that fought were fighters are going to be fighters, and they're there to fight, and they're not there to.
We have been deceived.
We have been deceived. So that means, you know, and where it kind of goes with like one of my mottos is, you know, believe half of what you see and question everything. Because that's one thing that I think you guys on the youth level is you guys have experienced it, and it's almost like is there ever it's not ever a time where you guys can just cleanly go into a fight. I believe there's always something going on where, you know,
Always somebody complaining.
huh?
Yeah.
Always somebody complaining.
Always somebody complaining, or somebody coming up with excuses or stories.
Like I remember in my last pancreation fight with Harper Wheeler, like their coach was like, "Well, she was so much bigger than you," and they were trying to make excuses on why she didn't execute the way she even told me personally.
Yeah, well, that's grown folks, though, and that. But yes, it goes back to, I think a long time ago we talked about that Pop Warner kind of stuff going on in youth, and you see it, and I guess we were kind of talking about it the other day when I told you that we were talking about, I think your grandma not really liking. Not totally being all on board with your combat sports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And with you, I remember telling them, like, they don't want you to get hurt, or they were saying that they don't want you to get hurt. Well, check this out. And it's not just to grandma or anything. It's to anybody out there that brings your child over here to learn combat sports. All right. Is that I don't want your child hurt either. So I won't lie to your kid. I won't lie to you. I'm going to thoroughly prepare your child. I don't want you to get hurt either. But here's the thing is, you watch youth in our in our culture today, they're constantly being hurt by shit that's not even as serious as getting in there and getting in a fight.
Yeah.
They're getting hurt by social media. They're getting hurt by feelings and manipulations and gossip and jealousy and all kinds of crazy shit now, huh? Yeah. Some pretty grown-up stuff in high school, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to talk about that shit? It's a podcast.
I'm not really involved in any of that.
Attaboy.
I don't really care.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a bunch of noise, huh?
Yeah.
It sounds like a bunch of incoherent, bunch of fucking nonsense, huh?
Yeah.
That's what I like. That's That's what we do here. And I know here, let's get your perspective here, young Maquinita. Fucking thing. All right. Let's get your perspective here. Is because you were in the public school element, and you actually caved in to the peer pressures and the social shit that young Prodigy has pointed out to be just kind of unnecessary. As you've been transitioned out of that, and you've been focused on training and furthering yourself in other endeavors, how do you feel about that?
In the moment when it was happening, when I was going to public school, it felt like the right thing to do. And then after I just started, after you had pulled me out of school and I started going to a charter school and I started focusing more on fighting and respect for myself.
Self-respect, self-awareness.
It just looked so dumb. And then even Nina, because she goes to a private school, she was like, "It's all stupid. It's all."
No, yeah,
it's all people being people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the difference is maybe in private schools, kids that know that their parents are paying for their education, they're still going to be the same when ain't nobody looking.
Yeah.
But when it's time to maybe pass a test or study a little bit, they might take it into consideration because mom and dad are forking out a little bit of money to put them through school. So I get it, but like, that's what we focus on here. Is we really focus on character. Really focus on character. We really focus on the process of having discipline. And when we go out to these events, we notice that Pop Warner kind of, and that goes to me because I'm so close. I'm so close, and I'm so in tune with what I'm teaching and what we're doing here. I think because I take it to that next level, I'm really serious about it. It really makes me realize how a lot of the youth combat sports, it's a business. It's a business. They're there to help develop, but once they can no longer provide competition for your development, well, might as well take the money. You know what I'm saying? And it's the youth sports thing you're the first fighter that I had where I had to experience that. The pro sports thing, I was on the end of I was like you, I was just fighting, and I didn't really understand the business aspect of it. And man, that in the pros, and it even gets more complicated because, they've corporatized it, and the UFC has come in and basically conglomerates have bought them out. So the evolution of combat sports, I think sometimes people lose focus on the fact that it's a business. Even what I do here, it's a business. I run it a little differently than your normal gyms. I make it a little bit more I connect more. I make it an issue to connect with people more. I make it an issue to treat your kid like they're my kid. I make it an issue to really want to help, and I can do that.
Yeah, it's not just a publicly opened facility. There's character building. Everybody's engaging with each other.
There's true development,
like humans.
There's true development. And we can see it from after a month or two.
You can.
And that's what, again, that's
one of the things I enjoy about the kids program. Just how quickly you see the difference.
Watching the growth.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what youth combat sports should be about.
That's what it should be.
It should be about the growth.
It is.
And we just took it to another level. So, we're that's why we're so appreciative and gracious for the opportunities that we get.
Yeah.
That we're not disrespectful. We're not arrogant. We're confident. I know in the past you've gotten a little shit for being a little, kind of confident in there and like wanting to fight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, the parents come out and it's funny that they don't understand. They don't understand because they're doing that Pop Warner shit. So with us, it's like with the kiddo that comes here, these kiddos are excelling because they were basically born and raised through this program. All kiddos excel here.
Mm-hmm.
And it does translate to their lives, to school and stuff like that. We know this. That's why we do things the way we do here. That's why I can say the things that I say, is because my actions and my behaviors stand behind what I say. And it's not about perfection. It's about constant,
just striving to get better.
Striving.
And being
constant striving.
to constantly do the work.
Absolutely. Constant striving.
Uh-huh.
You said it before, Johnny, that you apply it to other things. And you're like this freaking machine that is just focused on what you're going to do and what's going to happen and how you're going to deal with it. And Tay, you're in that process right now, and you wouldn't have noticed the difference between, the kind of energy that you were feeding off of in public school compared to the energy that you're feeding off now.
That's why, like, when you had first moved, I was a little bit sad, and then after a while, I was like, eh.
Well, we did it kind of like a Band-Aid too. It's like it's over.
And you were doing it to better my life and to better.
Just like when I prepare you for fights.
Yeah.
I prepare you to go out there, and I'm sorry, but the safest you can be in a fist fight is if you're kicking ass.
Yeah. Or watching. Then you're not in the fight.
Yeah. No, but come on, bro. That's good. Come on. Wow. Come on. Is that all right. So, but coming up, we have Valley Fight Series coming up. Valley Fight Series 16 coming up on September 7th. We thought we had a fight for you. We thought we had an opponent for you at what, 25? At 35? So ain't no 125ers out there, huh?
Nope. It's probably the hardest weight class to get.
Yeah. Why?
They're all juiced. Let's be honest.
Well, but we'll take them juiced, eh? See, that's the thing. Eh? It's like
Juice to get 35.
see, that's the trip about us, right? Is that we struggle to get fights, and look at us. That's why, like, I don't mind posting a picture of me with my shirt. I ain't trying to fucking be no, all fucking check me out, you know, ooh, pose in front of the picture. Come on, eh? Hey, you know, honestly, the PEDs are gonna end up fucking killing these dudes by the time they're 50. You know,
Destroys your organs.
yeah, I'm trying to age like fine wine, but you know, so I don't get that. But if you're juiced out and you want to be a 125 fighter, all juiced out, like, we'll take you. Like, we'll take any camp out there that's got a fucking big old fucking juiced out. We'll take them. Juice don't make you a better fighter. It might have you hit harder. It might have you train a little harder and last a little longer with that amount of muscle. But the reality is that all we do is train to fight, dudes. So steroids aren't going to help you. If you're an athlete and you're going to rely on wrestling and juice, well, just understand that even when you're juiced out, bro, you're going to get tired. Muscles and mass and shit, like I think it's scientifically proven that
you use up more oxygen.
You use up more oxygen, bro. So it's like that doesn't that doesn't turn us off to wanting to get in a fight with you guys. I mean, I believe that you guys have had opponents in the past that were definitely on PEDs. I know Aaron has.
Mm-hmm.
You know, definitely Aaron has. You wrestled one of them. That motherfucker was juicy. But that's the business. That's the business of it. And I definitely want to get into the more of the business aspect of what I've learned through developing and managing you guys and bringing up your guys' career. And, you know, if you guys look to the professional rankings, then, you know, looking forward to what kind of dealings are going to be with that. But understand anybody out there that is enamored with the fight game and wants to get in the fight game. It ain't what you think. It ain't what you see out there. It ain't.
There's a lot of people in power trying to pull strings.
It's corporatized now.
Yeah.
Now you're getting this whole, you know, corporate manipulation and business tactics. Man, it's business tactics. How do you hate on business tactics? So that's another aspect of being a fighter. That if you want to be a complete fighter, you got to understand the business of it.
Yeah.
You know, because you know you're going to be on the end where, you know, paydays are going to depend on it. You know, rankings and stuff, like, dude, that so many guys care so much about that bullshit. The way I look at it is, man, just fight. And if you're that good, you'll fight and you'll get better at fighting, and then you'll keep fighting and you'll keep winning. And then you'll lose one, and then you'll learn something, and then you'll come back. To me, that's the heart of a fighter. That's the will of a fighter. You know, that's why we do it all. We're just fighters. So with that said, we just wanted to kind of do a recap. I know that we don't come with, like, you know, good, like, we don't update all the time. And I know our social media kind of fucking falls behind sometimes. Well, it's the product of us being obsessed with what we're doing. So no disrespect in the social media platform. And anybody that wants some can get some. If you want to talk some shit on social media, we probably won't come back real quick with some responses, you know, but when you come back with a response, it'll be an absolute real response. And it'll be from, you know, my mouth and my mind. And I won't say it unless we can all agree on shit. Because as a collective, you know, I have my way of expressing it, but at the same time, you know, I stand and I fight for your guys' positions too, for your advancements too. So I want what's best for you guys too. So I'm willing to fight for that. So with that said, I think that'll wrap this motherfucker up. So until next time, I think I have some guests in mind that I want to bring on. He's a member of mine, Brandon Torres, that will be coming on in the future with. He had a near-death experience, or actually an experience experience on the other side. And he's with us and he's thriving. And I want him to kind of share a story. So I think that's going to come up a little bit. Definitely want to do some stuff. I talked to my boy Brian McChesney over at King of the Cage, and I'd like to get him out on the podcast too, and kind of touch a little bit on the business aspect of combat sports in the future. So we got some stuff brewing. Again, you know, it's not like of the utmost importance that we do this at a certain time and a certain day, but we definitely want to keep you guys informed on what we're doing, and we want to tell you the truth about what's going on out there, because we understand that social media creates narratives and they want to push their agenda. We don't have our agenda is the truth and what it is, and that's main component of this podcast is keep it real with ourselves and keep it real with everybody that comes in contact with us, because that's kind of fucking people we are. That's how we vibe, is being honest and communicating. So with that said, until next time, people, stay strong.